This week, I'm going to lead you through a practice to wind down in the evening. So you've had your day and now it's time to move and stretch a little bit, relax for your evening and maybe get ready for a good night's sleep. Let's get started. You might do this week's practice without any props, but if you know that you have sensitive knees, then you could have something soft like a towel that you can put under your knees. And then I also have a bolster here that you could use. I will do a couple of poses with it, but you can also do this without a bolster or just have some pillows, cushions there for your practice. So any props that you usually need, have them somewhere around. And then we are going to start and we're going to go straight into some movement. We're going to go onto all fours. So if you need anything under the knees, this would be a good moment to cushion your knees. And I'm suggesting that we start from elbows and knees. But if for any reason you'd rather stay up on your hands, you are very welcome to stay on your hands as well. So we're going to start by rocking our weight forward and back. And we'll do this together with the breath. Inhaling as we lean forward and then exhaling as we lean back towards the knees. Your toes could be tucked under or you could relax your feet. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, shift the weight back. And you decide how big or how small this movement is. Just finding some gentle rocking movement. That doesn't hurt in your shoulders, doesn't hurt in your hips. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. We'll do this a few more times. Just follow the pace, the rhythm of your own breath. Keeping your neck soft, tops of the shoulders soft. Let's do one more round. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And then slowly bring yourself to center and slide your hands, your elbows a bit further forward on the mat. And then lean your chest, your head down into the melting heart pose. So your hips are roughly on top of the knees. Again, toes could be tucked under or you can relax your feet. And you could lean your forehead onto the mat. Some people might want to have their chin on the mat. If extending the arms doesn't feel good right now, you can always bend the elbows, maybe bring your arms under the head. And take a few more breaths in and out. Make sure there's no pain in the shoulders, there's no pain in the knees or in the hips. And then slowly, slowly bring yourself up onto right elbow and left hand. So an asymmetrical all fours pose. And here we start to twist out to the left. So left hand is gently pressing down. So you're kind of rotating out to the left. Our first twist. We're going to have quite a few twists today. Now you might look out to the left as well. You might look down to the mat. Take a couple more breaths, turning your chest towards the left. Feeling that twisting through the spine. Maybe feeling the ribs, breathing towards the rib cage. And then from here, we're going to slide into thread the needle pose. So leave your left hand where it is and just slide your right arm under that left arm so that now you could bring your right shoulder and the side of your head onto the mat. So maybe a slightly bigger twist. Left hand could stay where it is, or you could extend left arm overhead so that your left hand or fingertips are still on the mat. Or you could also bring your left hand towards the right hip, so you're kind of bringing that left arm behind the back and then wrapping your left hand around that right hip, thigh. And breathe here. And breathing out to the ribs, breathing down towards the belly. Take another breath or two in and out. And then slowly bring your left hand back on the mat. And we're going to lift ourselves up and reach right arm up towards the ceiling. So now you're twisting out to the right. You might look up. And then bring your both hands to the mat. Now, from all fours, step your right foot forward and slowly bring your back up. So you come into like a square lunge where your left hip is still on top of the left knee or almost on top of the knee. And there's kind of a square shape in that front leg as well. We'll bring arms into the eagle shape. So now bring your arms in front of you and then cross your left arm on top of the right arm, and then either twist the forearms around each other, or you could reach hands to the opposite shoulder. Breathe towards the upper back. And as you exhale, soften the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. You could be slightly gently tucking the tailbone under. Softening the neck. Focusing your gaze onto something, because you might feel that you need to slightly balance here. Take another breath in and out, really grounding down through that right foot. And then as you exhale, release the arms. And now bring your right hand behind your pelvis. And then as you inhale, start to twist out to the right, reaching left arm overhead. You might even look towards the right foot behind you, left foot behind you. So we're twisting to the right, maybe seeing that left foot. There could be some back bending going on, side bending going on. Soften tops of the shoulders again. Take another breath in and out. And then as you exhale, slowly release that twist. Bring both hands on the mat on the inside of your right foot. And for a moment, you could walk your right foot a bit further out to the side and maybe just rock the pelvis a bit from side to side. Just checking on how you feel there at the front of that left leg. And then we're going to walk the right foot, kind of heel toe the right foot towards the left side of the mat. And we're going to go into a swan, into the pigeon shape. So opening the right hip, and you can bring your pelvis further down. Now you could use a bolster under your right buttock here, or you could bring a bolster in front of you. You'll have two options for this sleeping swan. So you could either lean your chest, your head down, keeping them kind of more or less in the center without rotations. Or if you want to add a twist, you could now slide your left arm under the right arm, and then you could lean the left shoulder down, head down, so like a thread the needle but in that pigeon swan shape. And if you are in that twist, you could lengthen the right arm overhead, or you could bring right arm behind the back, reaching for the left hip. If that twist doesn't feel good, just keep your back, your belly, your chest in more of a forward bend. So leaning forward without the twist. And then breathe here. You could let your breaths slide all the way down towards the belly, down towards the hips. Softening the neck, softening the shoulders. And then with your next couple of breaths, bring your hands onto the mat. And then lean your pelvis on the mat so that you find yourself in a half butterfly seat, where the left leg is more extended out on the side, the right leg is bent in front of you. And here, if you still need anything under your knees, you could use that towel, some cushioning under the knees. Now we're going to give a short massage to that right foot. So you can bring your hands to that right foot and just a few times gently press onto the sole of the foot. So you're gently massaging the sole of the foot. You might have spent a lot of time today on your feet. So this is just a gentle massage, saying hello to that right foot. And as we go into our next pose, you can either keep massaging that right foot, or you might just have a hand resting, giving some gentle pressure on that right foot. So now, leave your right hand close or on that right foot. And then as you exhale, start to lean your left elbow onto that left leg. And then if you want, you could even add your right arm reaching up and over. But that's very optional. So if you prefer, you can also leave your right arm down. But you might still give some gentle massage for that right foot with the left hand. If the neck feels tense, you can look down towards the mat. Take a couple more breaths in and out. So opening through that right side body. If you find that there's a kind of tender spot in that right foot, you might just stay there with your left hand. Give some pressure to that spot. And then slowly, with your next couple of breaths, bring yourself up into a seat. And we're going to slowly find our way back on all fours. You can turn to each side of the mat. I'm going to turn to the other side. And slowly bring yourself onto knees and elbows again. And we're going to go through the sequence on the other side. We're not going to do that rocking forward and back. We're going to go straight into the twists. So now leaving left elbow on the mat. And then stepping the right hand down. And now we're twisting out to the right. And breathe here in and out. Again, see if you want to turn your head out to the right. Or maybe you want to look down to the mat. Take a couple more breaths in and out. You can see if your toes need to be relaxed, if you want to tuck the toes under. And then we're going to slide into that thread the needle. So leave your right hand down And then slide your left arm under that right arm. You can lean your left shoulder, the side of the head on the mat. You might leave your right hand where it is, or you can extend your right arm overhead. Or you might bring your right arm behind the back. And this second side might be a bit different. Check that you still have space for your breaths. Check that you're not straining your breathing. Take a couple more breaths in and out. Softening your jaw as well. And then find your right hand back on the mat. And as you inhale, lift yourself up. And now reach your left arm up, opening chest to the left. And then slowly bring your both hands back down. And now we're going to step the left foot forward to hands. And we'll come up into that square lunge. So you can bring your back up. You can still adjust your legs. So here, right hip roughly on top of the right knee. And we'll find our eagle arms. So now bring arms in front of you. And on this side, bring right arm on top of the left. And then either wrap your forearms around each other. Or again, you can bring hands to the opposite shoulders. But finding that twisting through the arms, through the upper body. And then breathing here. You can breathe towards the upper back, between the shoulder blades. Again, you might slightly tuck the tailbone under and focus on releasing tops of the shoulders. You might lean your chin towards the chest if that softens the neck. Focus your gaze. Focus on your breathing. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly, as you exhale, release the arms. And now bring your left arm behind the back. Your left hand kind of reaching towards the right hip. And then as you inhale, reach your right arm up and start to slightly twist to your left. Again, you might look towards the right foot behind you. You might be leaning slightly back. There could be a back bend, side bend. So you might feel some opening along the right side body. And find again space for the breaths. Maybe breathing towards that right armpit. Left foot stays steady on the mat. Take another breath in and out. And then as you exhale, slowly start to release the pose. Bring your both hands to the inside of your left foot. And then you might walk the left foot further out to the side and just rock the pelvis, move the pelvis, maybe from side to side or forward and back a few times. Checking in how we're feeling at the front of that right leg, right hip. And then we'll start to find our way into that pigeon or swan on this side. So walk your left foot towards the right side of the mat. And then you decide how much you bend that left knee. And if the left foot is closer to your pelvis, or maybe it's higher up along the mat. This side might be different as well. And once you've found a place for the legs, you might lean your upper body forward. Then you might have that bolster under the chest if you want, or under the pelvis. Or we can add the twist. So here, you could now slide your right arm under the left arm. And you could find that twist, leaning the right shoulder, maybe head on the mat, maybe even extending left arm overhead. You're very welcome to make a different choice on the second side if you feel that what you did on the first side doesn't suit your body on this side. That left arm could also be behind the back, so same options as in thread the needle that we did earlier. You can breathe down towards the hips, down towards the lower back. Take another breath in and out. And then find your hands slowly back onto the mat. Bring your back up and then lean onto your pelvis, again finding that half butterfly seat. Now the right leg is more out on the side, left leg in front of you. You can adjust where the legs are, so you feel you can sit down on both buttocks. And then we'll give that short massage now to the left foot. So bring your hands onto the left foot and start to gently press, massage the sole of the foot. You might find some sore points, then you can stay with that point, give some gentle pressure there. Or if you'd rather just move through the whole foot, maybe even the toes, feel free to do that. Let's take a couple more breaths here, massaging the foot. And then as we go into the next side bend, you have an option to keep massaging the foot, or maybe just leave your right hand onto that foot, giving some gentle pressure. And then we're going to lean the right elbow towards that right leg. And as you inhale, lean into the side bend, maybe bringing left arm overhead if you want. Or if that feels like it's just a bit too much right now, you could leave your left arm behind the back next to the side. And breathe here. And soften the neck. Notice if you want to turn your gaze down or maybe up towards the ceiling. Send a couple more breaths down and up along the spine. And then slowly with your next couple of breaths, bring yourself up into your seat. And then we're going to slowly find our way lying down on the belly. So, in your own time, find your way onto the front. You could bring hands under the head, maybe rock the pelvis a bit from side to side. We're going to go into the half frog and a reclining twist. So with your next couple of breaths, leave your right leg long along the mat and then slowly start to open your left hip so that you slide your left knee up along the floor, up along the mat, just to a place where you maybe feel a gentle sensation on the inside of your left thigh, maybe the groin area. You could still keep your hands under head, or you might turn one cheek on the mat, maybe bring arms out to the sides. So arms in any place that feels comfortable in your shoulders. We'll take another 5-ish breaths here. Just trying to release through the pelvic area, the inner thighs. Allowing pelvic floor to soften. And then slowly with your next few breaths, start to roll down onto your right side. You can still keep that left leg open there. We're going to go into a reclining twist, and you can either leave your right leg straight, left knee bent, or you can bend both knees and then open chest up towards the ceiling. Now you could use, if you have a bolster pillow there, you could use a bolster under that left knee, or maybe under the left shoulder if that feels good. But you can also do this without the props. So if you feel the one-legged twist is too much for the back, then bend both legs so that your right knee is under the left knee. And here as well, head might turn to one side. If you want to bring arms lower down, higher up, feel free to adjust. And take a few more breaths in and out in your twist. And then slowly with your next few breaths, slide onto your back, releasing that twist. And we're going to go into the twist on the other side. If you used a bolster, you can move that bolster pillow to the other side. So we'll reverse the order of the twist and the half frog on the other side. And same options for that twist. Either just bend your right knee and bring your right knee over to the left side of the mat. Or you might bend both knees, bring both legs to the left side of the mat. And leave your chest open up towards the ceiling. Left hand could rest on the right knee or thigh if that helps. And maybe the twist is a bit different on this second side. Release the neck, release the jaw. Checking that you're not biting teeth together. And take a few more breaths in and out in your twist. And then slowly, in your own time, start to close your chest. So you curl onto your left side. You can move any bolsters aside and then open your right hip. Turn your belly, your chest towards the floor so you find yourself in that half frog on the other side. So now left leg extended, right knee is bent out on the side. Again, maybe hands are under the head, or maybe you open arms out to the sides. Maybe you turn one cheek on the mat. Find your shape in this second half frog. And breathe all the way down towards the belly. Breathe all the way down towards the pelvic floor, inner thighs. Let the exhalation soften tension. We'll take a few more breaths in and out in this half frog. And then after those few breaths, you'll have an option to find your resting pose either down on the belly. So you might just release the legs, find a relaxed pose on your belly. Or if you'd rather, find your final Savasana on your back. You could roll down onto your back. If you have a bolster there, you could bring bolster under your legs. Just finding your final relaxation pose. Any easy pose. Any shape that leaves space for your breath. You might close your eyes. You could bring hands onto your belly. And then just give yourself a moment here to breathe. There's nothing else to do right now, nowhere else to be. So just let yourself be here. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself relax. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths in your resting pose. Or you might decide you want to stay longer. You can stay here as long as you want, as long as is needed today for your practice. And then when you feel ready to do so, slowly start to bring some gentle movement to your hands, your feet, You could open your eyes. Maybe gently stretch arms overhead. And then from your resting pose, roll down onto your side. It could be the left or the right side. And find your way up into an easy seat, your own final seat where you feel you could leave your hips, your shoulders, your back soft. And if it's a part of your practice, you can bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for taking some time today to look after yourself. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing the practice. Namaste. Thank you.